Well, hello and welcome to the answers video, to the Q&A video that I posted a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to try to answer most of you guys' questions as best as I can. And as you can see, I'm at home with my parents. I have a Christmas tree, got my old ass instruments and everything. It's kind of cool. So let's start at the top. David Cox. I was wondering if you have seen my two newest videos. How do I get my videos on the What to Watch page? Yeah, well, I've seen your latest two videos. They're really good. Keep on playing, dude. How you can get your videos on the What to Watch page? I'm not really sure if I understand what you mean there, but I'm not really good at YouTube mechanics, if you want to call it that, so I'm afraid I can't really help you with that. Sorry about that. Yeah, we will be posting some backing tracks. Make sure you send me the link when they're done so I can hear them. Neo Geo Fanatic, you deserve way much more, bro. Thank you. My question is, would you like to make a video collaboration with me? Yes, sure. I've sent you a message. Mag Stairwell, how do you make your backing tracks? Well, I make them just like I make any kind of music really. It really usually starts out with me just playing some chords, playing some tunes, whatever, something that sounds kind of good. When you're making a backing track, it's important that it's mostly chords, that it doesn't have too much melody, because that would interfere with the playing on top. And repetition is always good when making backing tracks. So what I do is I usually just write like 3 riffs and then I copy and paste them around in the song, and usually it doesn't take that long, but making a really good backing track takes quite a while. So I usually just record my riffs, and when I've done that, I go into Reaper and add some drums with Superior Drummer, which I've made a tutorial on how to do, and play some basic bass guitar on top, and just try to spice up the drums a little bit and make it sound nice, and something around like 3 to 4 minutes long, and then it's usually good to go. So yeah, the most important thing when making backing tracks is that you don't make something that has a lot of melody, a lot of like bright tones to it, because that would make it really hard to play your own kind of melodies on top of that. So I hope I answered your question there. Jason Smith, who is the vocalist chick? Liking her, and you're badass too, bro. Thank you. The vocalist is my girlfriend, actually. Let's see. Michael Frey, how do you get your awesome tone? Well, thank you too. As everyone says, tone starts here in the fingers. Simply having the right technique takes you a long way towards getting your tone. I've been working as a guitar teacher for 5 years now, and it's really amazing how you can hear the difference in tone just between different players. If I gave this guitar, this pick, and my amps to someone else, it would sound different most of the time. But there's really no question about a good gear also has its impact on good tone. So I would say, apart from the fingers, which you obviously just have to work on your technique to improve, using this now I'm going to explain how I get my tone. I'm using kind of stiff 1.14 millimeter Dunlop Ultex sharp picks. The sharp picks really cut through a lot better, I think. and I'm using always using 10 to 46 gauge strings, and as you can see on the videos, I'm using pretty much exclusively Ibanez guitars with high output pickups. When I'm using 7-string guitars, I'm using a 62 on the low B string, and but I would say that most of my tone comes from my XFX. I'm using an old XFX standard, which you can get pretty cheap these days. It doesn't cost too much, and it's still really good. It can be kind of challenging to get the good tones in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, it's really awesome. And when I'm recording, I always make sure that my bass guitar tone is really good, because that's 50% of the whole guitar tone when you're recording something or playing in a band. The bass guitar and the guitar should always work together and create something good. And it's really important when I'm mixing stuff that I cut the bass from the guitar and that I shape the bass guitar tone to fit the guitar so they don't conflict with each other. And of course, using a good guitar will also help. The best guitar I have tone-wise is this one. It's an Ibanez RG 550. It's been used for a lot of my recordings, but I haven't really had any chance to play it the last 4 months because I've been away at school. But I'm gonna take it with me back to school next year. And yeah, I would say it makes a difference what kind of guitar you use as well. So I hope that answers your question. If you want to get my tone, of course you won't get my exact tone, but you can get close. Make sure you just buy an XFX, doesn't matter, standard, ultra, version number 2, any of those will do. If you consider getting the 11 rack, I would not suggest you do that, because it really is not anything close to the XFX. But a Kemper profiling amp, just as good. And you can get some really nice tones on a computer with plugins as well. I used to use tube amps before. I've had almost anything from PV6505 to Angle Special Edition, Angle Powerball, Angle Fireball. I've had a lot of different amps, and nothing comes close to an XFX. After I got my XFX, I haven't considered buying an amp once. It is that good. And I record all my XFX directly into the sound interface. I don't use any power amps or cabs or miking or anything. That's just a bunch of stress. Let's see. Socrates Hassan, I want to ask, please, what is the E Phrygian dominant chords are, please? Well, I must say I don't really have that in my head right now. But what you can do is you can always go online and Google how to build chords or how to build chord triads. And then you will find out how you can build chords by taking a scale and using the first, third and fifth intervals of the scales, and that way you can build your own scales on the E Phrygian dominant scale. But one quick tip I have for you, if you want to make your own backing track using E Phrygian, using the E Phrygian scale, E Phrygian dominant scale, you can always just use the E major and the F major and just alternate between those chords, and that will fit really well with using an E Phrygian dominant scale on top. Let's see. Rumanero 13, dude, first of all, thanks for all your amazing backing tracks. Well, thank you. They help me so much. Keep on rocking. Well, I'm glad I can help. Let's see. Juan McCall. Passive or active mix for recording rhythm and leads. What's best or recommended? I use passive mostly, but I also have an EMG 8185 guitar which I use sometimes. Anyhow, just tell us your opinion about the subject. Well, that's a touchy one. A lot of people have strong opinions on active versus passive pickups. I have been using both. Currently I have a guitar with an EMG 81 in the bridge, and I have had a couple of guitars with that before, and I've had a 7-string LTD NH 417 or something which had a 7-string EMGs, and well, what can I say? They both sound good. They don't sound that much different as many people think they do. The main difference between active and passive mix is often just the amount of output. So if you're playing one guitar with passive picks and then switching to active pickups, you usually have to dial down the gain a little bit. Some people say that active mix don't have any personality or any feeling or any organic tone, and that's just pure bullshit. The only difference between passive and active mix is that active mix have a small preamplifier in the microphones, and I guess that active mix reduce the impact your cable has on your tone. Not that I ever care about that stuff. So I just pretty much use whatever I feel like using. I don't think one is better than the other, but I can say that the best sounding pickups I've tried so far are DiMarzio Evolution passive pickups, which I have in this guitar. I think they sound better than EMG 81s, but that's just my personal opinion, just as I like Ibanez RGs better than Gibson Les Pauls. So yeah, I would say try to listen for yourself and just think, what do you think sounds best? No one can really tell you that something sounds different than what you think it sounds like. You just have to go with whatever you think. When it comes to feedback control, I haven't really noticed any difference at all. Some people say that active makes feed less. I can't say I really agree with that. I would say that the ability to quick switch, the quick connect thing on the EMGs are a nice feature to have, so that you're able to switch mix easily. But other than that, tone-wise, it's just another pickup. I wouldn't really say that EMG 81s are different from DiMarzio Evolutions because they're active. I would just say that they're different pickups. It's as simple as that. And now I should say that I have not tried the blackout pickups or bare knuckle pickups. I haven't really tried that many pickups. I usually fool around quite a bit with using stock pickups, passive pickups on cheap guitars, and simply just making them sound good in recordings. And people always ask me what kind of pickups I use, and they seem to get surprised when I say that I'm using standard pickups. So I would say that pickups aren't really always that important, but they have that little extra edge to them. Brillianty, how long do you play the guitar now? Do you play any other instruments? I've played the guitar since I was 15. I started playing classical guitar and started playing electrical guitar when I was 16, I think. Now I'm 22, so I played for a few years now. Do you play any other instruments? I have played a little bit of cello. Tried to play the violin, but that instrument is just simply too small. And of course I do play bass guitar, but that's just about it. I don't play cello at the moment. And finally, Green Day 5644. What string gauge do you use for drop C and B? Well, as I said earlier, for playing in B, I use a 10 to 46 set, and for the low B string I use a 62. If you're thinking about drop B, I've never used drop B, so I wouldn't know, but I would still use a 62 for the low B string. For drop C, I haven't had any guitars in drop C for a long while now, but I would go with 11 to 52. I think that's what I would use for drop C. And I feel it's kind of important to just get out my opinion about tunings. When I started playing guitar, I was really obsessed with having lots of different guitars, lots of different tunings. And I was thinking that it really has a huge impact on the music you play, what kind of tuning you play it in, but that's really not the case. Normal people don't have any idea what tuning you're playing in. And right now I have several guitars, but all of them are just either E or drop D or B standard for 7 strings. I will still use drop tunings like drop D because they actually do something about what you can do with the chords, what kind of stuff you can play, but having like one guitar in E and one in E flat is not something that I care about unless I want to play some cover songs over something that has been played in a different tuning. But when I'm making music myself, I just make sure that it fits the vocalist who's going to play on top of it, or of course if I'm playing a metal song for a D minor backing track, it would be a good idea to tune the guitar to D just to make it easier to play. But I don't think that, like, if you play in a band where you play all your songs in drop C and you think, oh, we need to make our songs sound better, and then just let's try playing them in drop B instead, that's not gonna do it. It's not really that important. But of course, if you want to screw around with different tunings, it's fun to do, and go for it. But perhaps try some different alternative tunings, like open tunings and stuff. They are kind of fun to play around with. So I've answered quite a lot more than you asked for. Hope you don't mind. So I guess that's about it for this video. As I said, I'm away from my home studio right now, so there won't really be that many backing tracks or guitar videos coming out until I return on January the 5th. But I will try to make some acoustic backing tracks recordings while I'm here. Well, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you.